We're ready to go.
Yeah, we'll do some fan questions here, Coach Kehoe. The fans want to talk to you. This thing, the computer's got smoke blazing out of it. You can log on to hurricanesports.com, and we're trying to connect the fans directly with the coaches. I'm just the middleman on this deal. Plus, Don, you and Don Bailey took all my questions, man. He hogged all the questions. But let's talk. I know real quick. We'll get ourselves settled here. I saw you the other day, and you got one big boy from Georgia coming in, Taylor Gadbois.
Gadbois.
It's a big boy, and I can tell you here that whatever. I don't know. I'm sure you know more than I do, but I smell an Art Kehoe clone from a maybe not from talent, Coach, but from emotion and passion. I heard a hurricane.
His nickname is Wheezy.
Yeah, that's what Michael Barrow said.
Yeah.
I don't see you calling him Wheezy though.
I've been calling him. I'll call him whatever he wants me to call him.
Right.
Especially if he's
now you call him something else because he's signed.
I've just gotten to meet his mom and his dad over the phone, and great family, and it's just the interesting thing about this guy is his coach came to, I think it's called East Paulding High School, and his coach went there, and they had the previous 15 years they won 19 games. 15 years. In his first year, they went 12-0, and then I think they're like in 5 years like 47-10. And the first thing he told me, I said, what are you doing today? He said, I'm working out, and he told me his workout in squats, and he's 6'7", 285 or 90, 17 years old, so he's nowhere near his potential. But on film, he's been whoever his line coach was. Is phenomenal because his technique, he has a flat back, tight hands, finishes, he pesters guys. And you just don't see that often on a lot of big guys that are real talented because you don't sometimes get the coaching that you need at that level, and this guy got it. And I said, well, tell me about your program. He said, well, we do 4 things. We block, we tackle, we lift weights, and we run. And he makes it simple, and we win games. And I said, what a beautiful world.
Right.
I get to coach it, so, and he's got good grades, great parents. The coach is unbelievable, and I didn't even get to meet him, but Michael Barrow and Coach Golden did a great job there.
Stud.
Yes.
He's good. He oozed, when I say he's it reminds me just, when you hear him, I hear Brett Rump. I just hear that enthusiasm, that passion, that love of the game, and this is what they said they lost 3 times this year. He said he cried after every game because he was so distraught about losing football games, and I feel like that's probably a pretty good quality to have when you have
great
guys
quality.
like that. The pride they take and the meaning it has.
It means everything, and you're exactly right. That's what I got. The first time I talked to him, it's like talking to Al Golden. First time I talked to him too, it was the same thing. It was wow, he gets it, man. He's got a plan. And he knows what he wants to do, and let's get on board.
All right, you ready for some fan questions?
Certainly.
All right, Tony asks, what are you most excited about looking at this recruiting class as it's been shaping up?
Well, I'm excited because the coaching staff that I'm going to work with is they're all on the same page with Coach Golden. There's not a lot of hidden agenda stuff. It's guys that understand and worked hard with only 15 days on the road and put together a class that a bunch of them were committed elsewhere,
right.
and he turned them, and that just tells you that they do their homework. The other thing, I'm amazed at watching what's going on around here because we knocked off a walk-on day, a junior day. We got a bunch of coaches from Dade and Broward to come down to our campus, bring their players, and we're collecting information, and it's just an energy level and an organization that's doing a great job. I'm excited about it because we won't miss at this school. This school, he keeps talking about it. We're a peninsula, and to get to us, you don't have to traveling through, across states. You got to come down to get to us, and we've got all the players down here. So we need to, in the eye of the hurricane, which is about 2.5 hours from our campus or 3 hours. We need to really canvass that area, and if we do that and then go pick in other areas, we should always have a top-notch class with the plan that he has.
I like it. It's a good way. I knew we were a peninsula. I didn't think of it from a recruiting standpoint.
It's amazing.
You're coming into our territory.
We got all these good high school coaches and programs and players, and we have a good history, and we have so much to offer. And we got to get them on campus, and all of them get them on campus. And then, his plan is get them on campus 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So it's like you have a relationship now. It's not like I went there one time and maybe something didn't go well. We're going to iron out whatever we have to do to get it right.
All right, we're talking to Art Kehoe here on HurricaneSports.com. He will take your fan questions. The chat, you can log on, send it in. We'll have someone pass it along. Like this one from Atlanta Kane. Will you bring back the sand pits? Or are you still going to use the sand pits?
Absolutely, and
maybe we should tell people what the sand pits are.
Well, it's about 20 by 60. With Coach Swayze uses it too in his off-season program. And the thing with the sand is, having that, and you got to get the right type of sand. We had heavy grain sand, and you really want more fine sand, so they have to work to keep their feet in the ground, especially when they're tired. And I like getting them after practice. If it's not too steaming hot on the sand, we can get them barefoot, and that way they can work kick sliding for pass protection. They can get their helmets in their hand, so keep their hands up and their elbows tight, and then we work pulls, and we work all around the box, and we just make it position specific for what they're doing. And use the sand because it's better on your joints,
right,
and it works your feet to work on your arches and get your balance. And I was taught, like everything in football, I didn't invent it. Somebody taught me it. And
you mean in '79 you weren't running in the sand?
No, we weren't. Although our practice field was mostly sand back then. Yeah.
All right, Canes13 has a question. Remember, you send your questions in HurricaneSports.com. This will be a good. You're going to be here forever on this question, Coach. What makes a great offensive lineman individually, and what makes a great unit collectively? I guess probably individually.
Wow, what a great question.
Positionally, we probably have some different skill sets, right? Guard, center guard, tackle.
Yes. Yeah. The guys that, all the 27 years I was here as a player and a coach, and before that Miami really had become a winning entity, before that, Miami was just known around the nation for its defensive linemen. I mean, in the 70s and the 60s, you had, Ted Hendricks, Reuben Carter, Don Latimer, Eddie Edwards, Gary Dunn. Guys that were Hall of Famers, that played 10 and 12 years and won Super Bowls. And then those linemen on defense we might not have been known as an offensive line,
right,
but we were having to go against them. Don and I know, and the guys we played with, it was Jim Burke, Tony Chickolo, and Lester Williams.
We spent a night, and I forgot where we were. All Don did was recount the days going up against Jim Burke and the butt kicking he got, but how much better it made him. And he couldn't stop. He couldn't start talking. And Jim was there that night. He spoke to the team, and he could not stop talking about the influence Jim Burke and what a tough
as it gets.
Yeah,
as tough as it gets. He's the toughest guy. He was my roommate, and man, I'm telling you, he is. I would put him up against anybody, including non-human beings. Like
Animal Kingdom,
members of the Animal Kingdom. He would handle himself good with them. But anyway, the thing about that is when you keep competing, and you take your butt whoopings, and you keep competing and you keep competing. Now it comes Saturday, and whether I was a player or a coach, it became the same. I was hugging them guys that. Jerome Brown, Russell Maryland, Cortez Kennedy, Warren Sapp, Vince Wilfork, Dan Cilio, and then Lester Williams, Fuzzy Nelson. They all played. I'm not talking about 2-year pros. I'm talking about guys that went to the NFL and got all the awards and dominated. So I felt good that we were getting whipped every day, but they were doing it in the NFL too.
Right.
And that's why when we got to the game, it was like, not that it was ever easy, but it was certainly easier.
Right.
And we knew it was like, God, we had to go through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Here comes Saturday. I'm going to get after somebody because
payback.
Exactly.
So you want to paint me a picture of like an ideal center?
Well, I like them. We had a guy named Greg Riccozzi who was tall, and he was really exceptional, but he had kind of for 6'5", he had short legs, and so he had leverage. He had good leverage, but most of those guys have high hips when they get that high, and you're messing around like the guys we just talked about. And I'll put them on fields with anybody, anytime, anywhere. Jerome and Jim Bird and Warren and Vince Wilfork, and none of them are taller than 6'2". So if you're going to battle those guys in the trenches, and they're used to a lot of double teaming, and they're violent creatures that have great hips and can run, if that's the deal you're going to do, you got to find guys that, to me, are suited that way. Some of them can do that at the tall height, but I kind of like them more around under 6'4" to 6'2" to 6'4" if I can get them. And Casey Jones was easily the best football player I ever coached, and he was 6'1.5", 265 pounds, and he was the most. I still show his film to moms, dads, recruits, because I had a lot of moms that would be on visits, and we'd show them Casey Jones film, and on the way out they'd tap me on the shoulder and go, "My son's supposed to play like that?" I said,
We're gonna try.
Yeah, but what you're looking for besides a guy that can seek leverage, and this is what I mean by leverage, their eyes are up, their pads are down, and they're putting their hands inside, and they're able to work off the insides of their feet and move people and maintain the leverage. Some guys can hit, but to sustain it, they can't. And what made Casey so great was not only the weight room, and this is what we're getting better in football with, is nutrition and flexibility. Casey could do a full split in his pads, and he used to walk around on his hands on the field. He was unbelievable, and then I'd watch him block people, linebackers, down linemen. He would fit perfectly because he was built like a grappler, like a wrestler. And I'm telling you, he was one of the most relentless players I ever saw. That's how I would like the interior guys, centers and guards, and it's particularly tough for centers, even though they get a lot of help, is they have a ball in their hand too,
right,
and they have to snap the ball while moving their feet, and you have to really work that deal. Now tackles, I think tackles you're looking for.
How's 77?
Wow. Yeah. There's a bunch of guys that look beautiful. It's like Coach Golden said, "Hey, Art, don't mess this up, man. You got some players, I've met them all. I'm studying them on film a little bit because Jed has us just running, and we're trying to put little lockers together on these guys. And I'm excited because they're Jeff did a great job recruiting these linemen. They're really talented guys, but we still got some molding to do. That's what you do as a coach, and there's guys with, I'd like to see big hands on tackles and long arms, but Romberg was kind of a short arm guy, and he was great at some guys could get their hands inside, and other guys never grasped that. And Casey was great at that. And so to me, regardless, you'd want a long arm guy, but that'll shoot his hands, that'll get inside leverage on you. And a tackle, now you're dealing with great athletes on Florida State for years, has had those edge players, and you're dealing with those guys. So, you got to get out of the world that you're offensive linemen and you're not as good as athletes as those D linemen. But that's nonsense. You've got to be every bit the athlete if you think you're going to block those guys and keep your quarterback upright. And I see a lot of potential good-looking tackle types in this what we got right now.
All right, we got a question here. This might mean a little more to you. What is your plan for Ohio State football this season?
Wow. It's interesting you bring that up. I was just looking at that game, and they are They are the Buckeyes, and they are physical and tough. And I'm so jacked up, man. I can't wait to play them. I really can't.
I think when you did your media, they were telling you you met with the media. Someone asked you a question about Florida State. No one else asked the question for like 30 minutes because you were just like, we're going through it all.
And I know. Well, Eddie Grand, who's a heck of a coach, he's our special teams, and I think he has running backs too. And he was a graduate assistant on with us at Miami. And he's something else. And then Mark Stoops is up there, so and Odell Hagens, who I've done many battles with. So that's another thing too. And they're building their program, and it's always a great battle. And we're I was talking with our athletic director, and he says he's not sure how it's gonna come out with the schedule, but I think we're gonna have early and often a bunch of like werewolves on our schedule. And
well, look, you got Florida
that.
State. I know Notre Dame's upcoming. Florida's upcoming. Ohio State this year. So we'll just.
And don't ever forget about them Hokies.
Nah.
Yes. And there's so many good battles.
Joe and I were just in Blacksburg for basketball, but they've replicated the football environment in the basketball arena because last year it's raining. It's about 50 degrees, and there's 65,000 people. Enter Sandman, they're going crazy. Here comes the flags running out of the tunnel. It's, you're right. Put them on the list with everybody else.
Oh.
All right, let's get things. Let's make you feel better. We were talking about this before we got here on HurricaneSports.com Ustream. The job that was done in such a short period of time. So the question was how were they able to accomplish so much in so little time when staffs are used to recruiting year round?
Well, I'm kind of trailing on that, and I'm still learning.
But you had an extremely short period.
Exactly, because I kind of just got in, but I'm just watching these guys work, and they're it's like a networking within our staff is awesome because, we're calling a guy and we're just not going to get him off the phone. We're just going to go from here to here to here to here and just keep trying to get our point across from different perspectives. And you watch, you listen, you learn, and everybody has something to offer, and we're all on that same page. It's hard to do what they've done. I think they've done an outstanding job, and it's just like a taste. It's like biting the apple because next year they keep talking about it. Just imagine what we're going to do when we have a whole cycle and we'll work all of our plans into it. All the things that are going to get you on our campus, get you evaluated, get a relationship started earlier, get information flow faster, and they're like machines at it. I watch them, and I just want to get in there.
Where's the notepad? I'm used to writing stuff down on notepads. You're going in the computer system, punch it up, and like you and Don Bailey are old school. He writes on his hand. Although we just got him up to an iPhone, so he can text now and everything. All right, Coach, it's great to have you back. Great to have you here. We'll see if we round out any more big fellas here at the end of the day, and we'll maybe have you back to talk about them as well.
Appreciate it.
All right, there you go. Coach Art Kehoe, always send your questions in HurricaneSports.com. Joe Zagacki is going to tiptoe back to the other room. We'll catch up with him in a little bit here on HurricaneSports.com. All access all day on Sunday.